What's up? What's up? It's your boys. Another Jets OTA week. Some highlights, some news, some rumors. Uh, we're gonna lock into it today, man. We got a couple little take games we're gonna play today. So, you know, lock in with us. Ready?
Ready,
Jet
jet
set,
set,
go.
Go, 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 go. No to the mall.
Loud one down the right side at the goal line, leaving a tap. Oh, it's free call. Oh, it's a jet
Never too
touchdown.
knows. Pack my bags and go, 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 go. Serve me the brick at the stove. Looking like a shack in the post. Go, 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 go.
From the hills to the moon. Yeah, baby, yeah, we go like don't go. Yeah, in this world, everything's so more. Yeah, behind this wall, there is no photos. Jump on this bitch, go, yeah. Across my neck, yeah, go. Watch how you go, hey, yeah. Ocho, I need some more, hey, yeah. Pronto.
Jumped out the coupe.
Knocked away by Sauce Gardner.
Smoking cookie in Atlanta, everyone you a recreation. You already know we made it. We ain't even gotta say shit. Some of the trap was lit, some of the trap was naked. Junior say I'll bring the pay, I'll bring the payout.
What's up? What's up? We are back again, the JETSET podcast, each and every Wednesday night. It is me, Brent, aka Take Flight. Today, joining me each and every week, my dog Alan, aka nyjetsplanet, and we are back again for another week in the offseason, OTAs. We got practice highlights. We got, some more of the Jets hype building up into the season. The regular every year. But what's the vibes going into this week, Alan? How you feeling, seeing what you're seeing and seeing how Aaron Glenn is kind of taking the reins of this team, man?
I'll start off as a Knicks fan. It's not a great week. It's not a great week as a Knicks fan.
Dang.
But as a Jets fan, it's the good thing is it's becoming neutral. I think the one thing that's interesting is that you're not hearing too much of the noise. I feel like there was just so much drama last offseason in general.
Yeah.
There's always something like at this point, I think we were arguing about like, Rodgers, he only took the trip out to whatever. That's why he missed some practices or whatever. And just like, it does feel good not to sit here and argue about nonsense in generon So
yeah.
Vibes are good. Vibes are good. It still seems like everyone is a full participant to my knowledge. So yeah, like I don't really think there's anything to really harp on negatively. So vibes are all good.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that, the full participancy in camp right now, it's, I guess, I'm not sure how it was over the last few years, but I know that this time around last year, we had a certain person in the building missing, right? Not missing, but kind of just away, right? And this year it's different. Aaron Glenn has given us the numbers. He's telling us that everybody is is showing up, everybody's present, right? So when you see things like that, you kind of take like we kind of look in hindsight as like the last years where people were kind of absent and we were just kind of trying not to make it a big deal. And now this year where we have actually people showing up, the whole team, everybody locked in, it feels different, right? Feels very, very different. So, I'm excited. You got people like Stephon Diggs and in New England missing practice,
Shout out Diggs, man. I
yeah.
had to put that on my story. I was like, shout out Diggs, because I wasn't familiar with his game. He's over there trying to destroy New England from within. I respect it.
That's what I like. Yeah, I definitely respect it. Because boats or NFL players and boats in the offseason never turn out well. So hey, Diggs, appreciate it, my boy.
He got paid though. I'm pretty sure that money guaranteed too. Ain't nothing they can do about it.
Guaranteed bread. You might as well be on boats, passing out whatever in little baggies to IG models and stuff. Just hey, I guess turmoil over there in paradise. As soon as Bill Belichick leaves, they start wilding out over there. I guess, but it's all good.
Yeah,
It's all good. It's all good.
It's a little crazy of that. I don't even know do they have another receiver?
They have Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, which actually it was a clip going around on Twitter today of them dropping passes in the drill back to back to back. Yeah, so it doesn't look too good from the Patriots side of the spectrum. What's up, Britt? But yeah,
that's tough.
We are witnessing a downfall, hopefully, up there in New England.
I will say though, and that's it's almost like the whole AFC just reversed. Everything used to be all Jets this and we used to be all of the drama for the whole AFC East. Now every team besides the Jets has their own drama.
Yeah.
You have the Dolphins with Jalen Ramsey seems to be he's over there on Twitter tweeting about how he's leaving. Tyreek was just happy about a fake trade apparently, and there's a bunch of nonsense over there. What we just talked about with the Pats. Josh Allen getting cooked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's good. His fiance.
Josh Allen's looking like the Madden cover athlete.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's a lot of things going on in the division. All right.
Oof.
A lot of things going on in the division, and actually, shout out Lee Valentin. He commented on our Instagram live. He asked me, more important than the Patriots, is bro already cheating on Cardi B? Yikes. I don't know.
Well, technically, I still haven't seen the video of her there, but I keep hearing that people say that she was on the boat.
Yeah. I think she was on the boat. So Cardi.
I just never see her in any of the videos.
I think I might have seen another angle of it and seen her, but
it still don't really look that right, bro.
Either way, it's a little, I mean, hey, live your life, Stephon Diggs. Do what you got to do to, But I know whenever they take that road trip to Miami, he might miss a few film sessions that week. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. Shout out Stephon Diggs, man. Shout out Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, shout out
Stephon. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what was in that baggie, but yeah, had him begging for it.
I'm sure it was something very good, It must have been like vegetables or something.
Yeah, it must have been it
was colorful, that's why. Yeah,
it must have been some type of substance. I'm not sure. So, some psychedelic. I don't know. But hey, what are you gonna do? You're with Cardi B, you're on the boat. Live it up, buddy. Live it up. But
a lot of women on the boat.
Yeah, a lot of them on the boat. But you are seeing no Jets players on the boat. They are all at practice.
Yeah, I promise you.
They're
if
all
somebody was
in.
at a boat, I'd be there. They'd be like, yo, where we going, bro? We ain't doing this shit, bro.
We're all locked in.
Me and Glenn, we're gonna be there together.
And look, I'm gonna be honest. This is what I was worried about a little bit when it came to Sauce and Ice Spice. I was like, is she gonna have bro kind of doing whatever, hanging around and out and about? Nah, Sauce been locked in, man. He's been trying to secure that contract so that he stays in New York. And
to be fair, I do think Ice Spice was a good pairing for him because honestly, and this is just genuine honest. I think Ice Spice is locked in herself. You don't really see her doing a lot of bull crap. I'm not gonna curse here, but I curse, but but you don't really see her doing a lot of nonsense in general. Everything she does, it feels very calculated. Everything seems to be about business. That's what it seems like Sauce for the most part is on. I know everyone knocks at him for golfing. I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's good to be coordinated in multiple sports. I think that actually helps him in football in general. Obviously, Maybe not so much last season, but I do think he'll bounce back. I think it's a good one for him to help him, focus up. Hopefully, come back even stronger next year.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm not.
I'm New
I'm
York. I'm
liking what I'm
biased.
seeing. Yeah. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the entire, sauce, ice spice. How that's playing out. It doesn't seem like he's being knocked off his game at all. Um, Lee Valentin said that Coke in the offseason is okay. Lawrence Taylor was doing it at halftime. Hey, shout out LT.
Shout out LT.
Shout out Lawrence Taylor. All right. But yeah, no, we're gonna hop into some OTA takes this week. I'm not trying to be over here too long, but we're gonna have a little fun with it this week. OTA takes. There's been some names floating around OTAs over the past couple of weeks. People rising. I'm not really sure about the drop the names that have been dropping on people's boards, but based off OTAs. But yeah. I mean, I guess we can start it off with the OTA buzz or busts. Based off what we're seeing, based off what's been talked about. Who do you feel is buzzing, or who do you feel might be a bust?
I'll start this. I'll start this one with a question.
Okay.
So we have seen Jeremy Ruckert. Reportedly, he's had that Ohio State connection already going. There were a bunch of completed passes. Obviously, this is OTA, so that's what we're going off of. A lot of it's 7-on-7. Not sometimes level on level blocking, but I don't really count those as much. But apparently, Jeremy Ruckert, he's doing his thing. Do you think that connection is a buzz going into the season, and he could actually push for that starting spot, or is this just off-season hype and we're just talking just to talk?
So personally, I think there is a buzz around that. I feel like, depending on your rookie tight end to be the starter coming like out the gate, it's a few chances to none. So Ruckert are like you said already has that rapport with Fields, and it would make sense to see Ruckert out there, first, right? It would make sense to see him out there starting. It would make sense to see him out there helping Justin Fields get into rhythm, a familiar face to start out with. And I mean, honestly, this is what we've wanted, ever since we've had Ruckert. It's been another tight end on the roster in front of him. So he never really got any chances. So now he finally gets his chance to show us what he can do, and then kind of bring Mason Taylor into the fold as well, and maybe form a tight end tandem, if you will, halfway through this season and beyond. So, hey, I'm buzzing with that take. I like that Jeremy Ruckert is getting those reps. I like that he's getting getting all those reps with his old quarterback, man. So yeah. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna actually, sadly, I'm gonna have to go opposite. I do think this is off-season hype. And the pure what this is really coming down to is because there's no pressure. It's very easy to throw to a guy. You like, obviously this is your first couple practices. You want to throw it to your guys. Yeah. But I think once it might not necessarily once we get through like the first couple weeks of training camp. I think by the time we hit about like mid-season, I think it's gonna be very clear who our guy is, and that's gonna be Mason Taylor. In my opinion, I don't necessarily think he's gonna have one of those 1,000-yard seasons right out the gate. I think that's very hard for a rookie tight end. I know Brock Bowers just did it last year, but I think that's one of a kind. I do see Mason Taylor having one of those solid 400 to 500-yard season. Honestly, kind of like a calmish rookie season for a tight end, but I just see the all-around game kind of being there, better blocking than we've had in the past. So, and that's why I'm excited about him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get a combined 800 to 1,000 yards from all of our tight ends, or I guess the main tight ends that are getting burned. I think that's a successful tight ends room season.
I think even 700-800 yards.
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
700-800 from
in my opinion,
yeah, that's a successful tight end room season. But I will say there's been a lot of highlights and clips of Stone Smart catching the ball, and running routes and getting a lot of work. I think that's smoke. I think,
yeah.
I
I can
don't
see
know.
some splashy, like a
Yeah.
play designed specifically for him, and he had like one splashy play like a couple of times throughout the year. But I don't see that being like a consistent thing. But maybe he proves me wrong, but I don't see that being a consistent thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I just don't see Stone Smart being that guy. Now, if there's an injury in the tight end room at any point, then I don't. Then of course I feel like he would step up. But Stone Smart, he's kind of the one that's kind of might be on the bubble. Like you said, those splash plays every now and then he might leak out. Teams might be like, "Who is this guy?" And he's wide open. He might get his. The week that I start Mason Taylor in fantasy, Stone Smart is going to be the one that scores a touchdown that week. So yeah, that's one of the people that I'm a little. All right. We'll wait and see on that.
Yeah.
But I guess next candidate for the buzz or bust, I guess I'll throw the question to you. We saw a lot of wide receivers, a lot of wide receiver buzz coming into this week. Who's going to be that wide receiver too? Is it going to be?
That's a great question.
Yeah, is it going to be Lazard? Is it going to be Malachi Corley? Is it going to be Arian Smith? Right. It's been a lot of smoke around this wide receiver room outside of Garrett Wilson. There's the Josh Reynolds, the Tyler Johnson, it's the Alan Lazard, it's the Malachi Corley, it's the Xavier Gibson who changed number to number 3, which is a dope number. I don't know if
that is a dope number. I gotta give it to him. Granted, I don't think he deserved it, but
I don't know if he deserved that number, but he chose to change it. Granted, but Aaron Smith, he's getting talked about by the coach. Where's the buzz and where's the bust in that wide receiver room? Do you feel like?
You posing some great questions. I
I
gotta tell you, that's a great question. And this is something I have sat down with and thought for quite some time. I honestly, personally, I think I'll start off by saying I don't really know. It's very hard without knowing the exact scheme we're going to run. I don't exactly know how everything's going to come together once we hit week 1, let me say, let alone week 17. But if I had to put my money on who Glenn wanted to be wide receiver 2, I would have to say Aaron Smith.
Yeah.
I think, and from what I've heard, he's flashed in rookie minicamp. He's flashed in voluntary OTAs so far. And a lot of it just goes down to speed. I don't really think you need to have like huge production every game. He just needs like a splash play here and there. Like Robbie Anderson, he would just have random 100-yard games from time to time, and he would get at least 800 yards a season. That was him being wide receiver 1, of course. But I think if you could just get that level of production, I think that's a win in my opinion. Especially 800 yards. I think that's a little high, but like even if you just got 400 to 500, from a rookie, that's great in my opinion. I think he can honestly push for that 600 yards. Obviously, assuming the catching of the ball isn't so treacherous as social media has made it out to be. But then again, honestly, Lazard has the same issues, so like that wouldn't stop me from picking him over Lazard, who's my number 2 choice in my opinion. I don't think Lazard's as bad as everyone makes him seem to be either, to be honest. So I think he's a solid dude. He'll at least increase the floor for whoever's out there. Just given, I think he just has that raw all-around talent.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel too bad about him, especially if the offensive line does come together and gives Justin Fields some time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to when you look at that RC room outside of Garrett Wilson. It's like, who is gonna be the guy outside of
Mhm.
Garrett Wilson? And because with wide receivers, I feel like the main thing about a wide receiver is you need reps, right? So who's gonna get those reps? Who's gonna get those early reps? To start the season because you can't have all 7 of them on the field, right? It's a lot of potential wide receiver twos on the roster. Um, I really want to see how they use Malachi Corley, man. Like that's been my
Mhm.
biggest question mark when it comes to the wide receiver room is how are we going to incorporate Malachi Corley into this offense, given that we actually have a run game. So it's I guess that whole Debo factor doesn't really have to be used, right? Like we don't have to have him in the backfield. Is he going to be lining up in the slot? Is he going to be doing this and that, like outside, like whatever? How are we going to use Malachi Corley and Alan Lazard? I feel like he I guess has that respect as a veteran. I feel like going into the season, he'll be the wide receiver too. Maybe Arian will be that guy who kind of takes the top off, like Robbie Anderson, like you said.
Mhm.
Um, that's a great example. Robbie Anderson, he like it was either a 100+ yard game or he'd have like 40, 50 yards, right? So it was never it was always just sporadic, but he was
Yeah, and
fast.
I think Arian's a better route runner, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 It's
That's
it's
personal opinion.
yeah. It's gonna be hard to kind of decipher like where or like when each wide receiver should like are we gonna start off with different packages or are we gonna have different sets and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I think out of all those wide receivers, um, the bust might come from Xavier Gibson.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
say who the bus was. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Honestly,
I
I
was
still
like
think
I was
you'd
just
be surprised
thinking,
if he made the team.
yeah, because I mean, we have our kick returner. We have a returner now in Kine. I
Yeah.
believe he's still on the roster.
Yep.
So that kind of eliminates a role for Gibson now. And if Arian can be that guy that Gibson is, but younger and more vaster, then
And
it's
taller.
yeah, it's over. It's over for him. But somebody else is gonna need that 3. Somebody else
Save
is
it for Chris Olave.
yeah, look, there you go. That's hey, Chris Olave. Dang.
Telling you,
I hope
New
that's
York
still
Buckeyes.
yeah, I hope that our wide receivers aren't too great leading up to that trade deadline. And then because if our wide receivers are playing decent, we're not gonna want to make any trade for our receiver. But if we're doing not too great, then yeah, bring a lot in. Why not? But yeah,
Like it depends on like what not like if Aaron Smith is just balling out, I don't know if I can sit here and still say like
yeah,
make the trade, knowing that Olave's contract is coming in about a year.
yeah,
It would be great for the upcoming year, maybe the year following, but then he's gonna want to get paid at some point. So that would worry me a little bit, but I also just New York Buckeyes would feel cool.
yeah. I mean, we do have a lot of them right now, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that either. But yeah, I
But yeah,
mean, if AG gets this Arian Smith pick right, man, that'll be kind of insane. That'll be like, okay, you might know what you're doing, coach, when it comes to the draft now, because that's gonna be the
he does. It
first.
is. It's crazy, and I think that's what people are missing. It doesn't
Yeah,
even have to be a home run hitter. Like
yeah,
it does not. He doesn't even have to put up even 700 yards. Like if he even gets like an average of 500 yards a year, that's a win in my opinion.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
a 4th round pick. I don't really think the expectation of him should be like, oh, he has to be this 600, 700 yard wide receiver too. If he can just be a
Mhm.
wide receiver 3, like honestly, if he's just solid depth, that's a win.
Yeah,
Fourth rounder.
yeah,
A lot of times you're just throwing darts at the board and hoping that somebody is just decent enough to stick on the team.
He if he makes one play in MetLife that like that'll be that'll like perfect pick. You know,
They
if he
already
makes
beat
one,
John Didzik.
yeah. Like if he makes one big play, if Aaron Smith makes one big play in MetLife, he will have a sign in the next home game saying Arian Air Smith. Like it'll
That's
be
funny.
it'll be it'll definitely be something for Jet fans if somebody like that can pop off. But yeah, no. That's honestly my like the room I feel like on the roster that I'm gonna have my eye on, you know, personally. Like we said, everybody is attending, you know, like everybody is present. So I've seen Josh Reynolds getting passes from Justin Fields. I've seen Lazard, Garrett, Gibson, Corley, everybody, Smith. Everybody is getting burned in these practices. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who actually wins it out. So yeah, hopefully Aaron Smith lives up to the buzz potential because I want to keep
Yeah,
him under wraps right now, but I hope he lives up to it.
yeah. Honestly, right now I feel good about it just because, like, I feel like a lot of fans are underrating him so much. Like, it's kind of sad, like how much like a lot of fans are just hating on the pick, like, oh, we overdrafted him and whatever.
Yeah,
Like, I think everyone's being a little too crazy about it. Like, oh, there were better players
yeah,
in the draft. Don't listen to these draft boards. Like, like a lot of times, it's not like the draft board is always, always right. Let me say, like Cooper Cup was what, a fourth, fifth rounder.
yeah.
You know, like honestly, the draft board is just a really good guess at who's going to be good, who's not going to be. But
Mm-hmm.
it's never always right.
Yeah,
Sometimes those first rounders do work out. Sometimes these guys are late rounders that nobody was even looking at. Because of something really stupid like catching, which can be fixed. There are
yeah.
things that can be fixed with some good coaching,
Good
or
coaching.
just mindset.
Yeah, mindset. Just having a coaching staff that believes in you can make a world of a difference. So, yeah, no, I mean, hey, Aaron Smith to the moon, man. I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping that he can find like a newfound spark with this team, and yeah, maybe hopefully he'll change his number. 82 is kind of ugly. So
I like it on him though. I do.
yeah, we'll
Not,
see.
I like it on him, but I think like 80s can work for because I remember the Ocho Cinco days of the world.
Yeah.
Like like that's kind of like the OG wide receiver type of number before everyone went single digits.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I want to take it back a little bit to the New York Buckeyes for a little bit because there's been a lot of buzz, especially because I know John Simpson just came on an interview not too long ago talking about the competition at center. And now it seems like it really is a thing. This whole Tippmann versus Josh Myers. Do you think that has some actual legs to it, or is this just off season? We're just saying stuff to say stuff.
So before I answer this question, I want to say that the fact that we are even having a conversation about O-line depth makes me happy, right? Because in the past, it's like one injury to the O-line and everything is falling apart, right? But the fact that we're having this conversation about, whether our starting center, is having a competition between guys that are good, I think that's always a good sign, So I'm gonna start out by saying that. But to me personally, I don't know. I feel like it's Joe Tippmann's job to lose at this point. Like you brought in Myers, familiarity with Justin Fields, sure, right? But Tip being the younger guy, being the guy that knows or that has played with most of this offensive line already. and he can block his ass off as well, as long as he's not snapping the ball over Justin's head. Like as long as he's not doing that, I think it's definitely Timmons' job to lose, right? So uh, I'm not falling for that smoke. I love that the competition is very good, like in the offensive line room. I really do love it, but yeah, yeah, mullet to the moon, man. Tip
Mullet to the moon.
mullet to the moon. Tip and the mullet has to start, in my opinion. He's our Nick Mangold reincarnated. So I
Ooh.
mean, but with Josh Myers, if we have any injuries at guard or center, it's good to know that we have some depth. So like I said, it's good that we even having this, question of which lineman can start, because that's a good sign in my opinion. How do you feel about it though?
Yeah, honestly, at first I thought, like, honestly, when we first signed Josh Myers, especially, it was a pretty low contract. I didn't really think too much
Yeah.
of it. I know everyone was like, oh, he might start. I personally, that's not where my head went to initially. I just thought it has good depth. But the
Hmm.
more and more I'm thinking about it, and more I'm seeing things, honestly, I do think it might have some legs to it. Like, that's just a
Yeah.
person, and that just comes down to, we said it last time. John Simpson and AVT both on contract years. Simpson did have trouble snapping the ball last year. Granted, I think Rodgers maxed a lot of it.
Hmm.
So, is that something you can improve on? Absolutely. Like, I don't think that's necessarily the end all be all,
Yeah.
but I do think if he's having those type of issues going into the season, then I think some conversations start to come up. I don't think Glenn cares whether he was a second round pick, first round pick, or if he was undrafted. I think Glenn's going to want the best team out there. And if he feels like he can't trust Tippmann to make solid snaps and Justin Fields has to overthink it, I can see him saying, you know what, put Josh Myers in, and then maybe even consider putting Tippmann in at guard, being that he has the size to go play guard.
Hmm.
He's 6'6", if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, so
Big
I
guy.
think he can slide right in at guard, honestly. Or maybe just have him come off the bench, or like I don't know. I don't exactly know what the plan is if Myers does technically win that starting job. But
Hmm.
I think you have to consider putting him at guard because you do have both of your guards on contract years, and you're most likely not going to be able to pay them both, knowing that you have
Yeah.
2 first-round offensive tackles as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no. I totally agree. They're very you can use them in different places, right? Both of those guys.
Yeah,
So it's good to have both of them, and uh, I'm gonna stand on it and say, hey, Tip Tip gets the nod at first. If anything goes wrong or if he might be injured, I feel totally comfortable with Myers being inserted into the line. So, yeah, I love that our offensive line is depth driven right now. We have some good ones, even with Chuka at right tackle.
Oh yeah,
Behind,
yeah.
yeah, like behind Armand, like it's good. It's good depth, and I don't think we've had this good of a depth at O line in a while. It was always one injury, and we're like scrambling for like the next, trying to see who we can plug in, right? So now it's cool. Now it's cool. So but yeah, no, appreciate appreciate my dog Ninja for the super chat, man.
Shout out Ninja, man.
Shout out Ninja,
I knew he
man.
was a Jet fan.
Hey, man, see, look,
Yeah, I
man.
knew he was a Jet fan. He
Come
needs to
on, man.
slowly come around.
Come on, man. Shout out Kyle for the super chat, man. Appreciate you, my boy. He's in
Yes,
Cali
sir.
right now for work. But but yeah, bro.
We
Appreciate
gotta put
that,
him with
man.
Cali Jets.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Oh yeah,
actually
you
a
gotta
Cali
link him
Jet
up.
fan out there.
Yeah. You gotta link him up with Saucy Capone out there.
Oh yeah. We got a lot
Yeah,
of, we could get them all together.
yeah,
All the
link him up
Super
with
Jet
Sauce.
fans over there.
Yeah, link him up with Sauce, man. But yeah, yeah, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Good stuff.
I'm
I
telling you.
love it,
Kyle.
man.
Tell you, yeah, man. Shout out Kyle, man. We always talked about having a podcast going. He's, he be watching the Joe Budden podcast and stuff, man. He be on that. But Kyle really the podcast guy. You know what I'm saying? So he be on all the podcasts before I even started looking at podcast stuff. So yeah, man.
Cool.
Shout out my dog, man. Shout out my dog. Hopefully you'll be wearing that Justin Fields jersey. Come week 2, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He gonna be wearing that every week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You look, bro. You gonna have
Give
a
it a
green and
couple
white
weeks.
jersey in that closet now. You gonna have a green and white jersey in that closet, bro.
You gonna have it on every Sunday. After
Need-
and be right after just give it a couple weeks, The Steelers gotta because he might try to write it out for a little bit, Steelers might have him for a little bit, make him feel like, because you know how they are in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then he just slowly start to bring out that Fields jersey, like, let me just wear it.
Yeah. The field jersey's they gonna look good, man. The field jersey's gonna look good. And see, look, bro, yeah, like join you got somebody to join you at the games and everything, man. So you'll be all good, man. It'll be all good. But speaking of, I guess quick little break. It's Aaron Rodgers, man. He's still kind of holding out. He's still kind of holding out.
Glad it's not for us.
Like what's crazy is last year I was defending this. I was like, he's in Egypt. Let him be in Egypt. Let him take his time. He's Aaron Rodgers. But now from the outside looking in, I'm like, dang. I'm glad this isn't with my team right now, because everybody in the Jets camp is present, 100% attendance rate. That's a culture shift. That's culture shift energy right there. Everybody's bought in. I don't like how Aaron Rodgers is acting right now, because it's making me question how I was acting when he was on the team. I was really defending him and what he was doing. I was locked into his documentary and stuff and being like, oh, okay, but now it's just he's doing yeah.
I think the only thing that bothers me, and I think the only thing that I can accept, is if he's just like, I don't like my options right now, so I'm just gonna wait out for an injury. I can accept that, actually. On the flip side, though, I do see that, if he is sitting there saying, oh, I just want to be with the Steelers, I don't like it, just because, I'm sure he knows by now, he's someone that really relies on chemistry. I think the more time he can be in that building to go and actually build chemistry with the wide receivers there, especially,
right.
A lot of the pieces there are going to be brand new, not only just new to him, but new to the system. There, DK wasn't there last year, so he doesn't even know the system alone. Let alone now you have to learn the system with a new quarterback. I can't imagine if he comes there in August. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's get it going. It's gonna be hard to get it ready for the season. But who knows? Maybe he has some ultimate plan that we're not even thinking of. And he'll figure that out.
I don't know, man. It's hard to watch, right? It's hard to watch now, because I'm when does your pride set in? It's if I'm gonna play with this team this year, let me go and get in the building, get to know the rehab guys, get to know the doctors, get to know the custodians, the reception. Let me get to know the people in the building. This is my time to get to know the people. We're 3 months,
especially coming off the season you just had.
Yeah. Where
things didn't go the way you expected it to go.
Exactly. We're 3 months away from the season. Devontae Adams is locked in with the Rams. It's not like he's in the film room with them right now. So with Aaron, I know he has stuff
as
going
he
on.
should.
Yeah. I know Aaron has stuff going on in his personal life right now, but it comes to a point where it's okay, if I'm going to play this season, let me lock in and get to know everybody in this, on this team, and let me get the playbook down. Let me do this, that, and the third. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't turn into something crazy like that. So, yeah, we'll see.
It,
We'll
it
see.
it does make me really like look back at our year last year, like all
Yeah,
the offseason drama, and be like, was it really him that did all of it?
you're right.
Granted, like
Right.
I don't exactly
Right.
know the
Right.
whole story now, but like from the whole Egypt thing to even like you look back, remember there's a whole thing of how he might not even play because he might run for vice president. With
Yeah.
freaking like that. It's just like why?
Yeah.
It's like he
It's
just. I
like
feel like he just. It's hard, and it's like he doesn't like people saying that, like, "Oh, you're all about the drama," but he does tend to do stuff that involves drama.
yeah. It's like he invites it. It's like he wants it. And again, last year when he was on our team, I was defending him. I was like, he's all right. Like he's in Egypt. Like whatever. He was just here last week. He's in Egypt now. Like that's fine. Still got fined $100K, right? But to him, that's nothing, I guess. But clearly, and like that made a difference, or it could have made a difference.
Well, I don't think it necessarily makes a difference in his play or anything like that. I think what it does is it sends a message to the team that you're not all the way bought in, especially when it's like, it's one thing if you miss, and I this is not me going off, but it's one thing if you miss practice or you miss OTAs for something important, like, oh, I just had a kid. I can respect that, like, do what you got to do. Going to Egypt and I'm sure like whatever story we got, it was probably worse than whatever it was, especially if they fined him $100,000. Like whatever story he gave them was probably bull crap. And you probably had guys like Garrett, like the young guys. Like, how do you look at your team when the guy that's supposed to be leading it is over there taking trips to Egypt and Salah's just like, yeah, it's not really that big of a deal.
And
like,
dropping documentaries. Like it wasn't
you're like, yo, we're supposed to be locked in this year.
Yeah, it wasn't honestly like that's what I'm saying. Like as a young guy on the team and Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, I understand Garrett's frustration that we saw on the sideline. It's like, come on, like if you weren't here this offseason, the least you can do is throw me the ball. At least give me a chance.
Yeah.
So, and I mean,
and he's coming up with his own plays on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like you have Hackett there, but like Hackett's just a ploy. He's just gonna go and call his own plays at the line. It just became a whole like it was just a lot.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to fathom, or like look back on. But yeah, To move off of Aaron Rodgers, I guess I got one more OTA buzzer bust, and I think this is a good time to drop this buzzer bust. Is the Fields hype real? Is it Justin Fields? The clips we're seeing, the attendance, the whole camera on the chest, on the helmet. Is that is that real? Like, is this the year that everybody's saying that this is going to be his breakout year? Is this going to be one of those years, or he finally gets, or finally, acts off that chip off his shoulder? Like, is what we're seeing in OTAs, going to translate, that's, all these highlights and clips that we're seeing. It's like, he looks good, but is it some good buzz, or is it the potential bust? How do you feel about that?
This is when I wish I had a video ready for this show. That Kodak Black meme where it's like, I hope so.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like I hope so. Like that's the only thing I can really say. Like I wish I could sit here and say definitively, like, yes, like he is going to sit there and be this great quarterback that we've always waited for. The real answer is I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. I do think he's putting in the work. I think he's there. He's present. He's building those relationships in the building. He's doing all the right things. Like there's nothing I can sit there and say that he's done wrong at this point in time. So I think it's all about things just coming together. it's hard to necessarily say that it will until you're a little closer to that moment. But I'd say from a mindset perspective, because that's the only thing I can really look at this point, because a lot of it's just going against error. He looks locked in. I
He
know
looks
one
locked
day he
in.
went 7 for 7 in
Yeah.
OTAs. Like, he's doing all the right stuff. Like, I generally couldn't have been happier. Like, even if he doesn't necessarily succeed, there's nothing
Yeah.
I would look back and say like, well, he did X, Y, and Z, and I feel like, if he would have done something else, I would have felt a little bit better about it. Like, if he doesn't do well, it's just one of those like, I'm sorry, bro, you did everything you possibly could.
Right. It's like he look like you said, he looks locked in, and like I love to see it. I love to see you locked in. He's showing up. He's dapping up every old lineman, but like before each play, like he looks like he's bought into what Aaron Glenn is trying to build over here. And that's all I can go off of right now. Again, like I'm in the same boat. I'm definitely I hope the field's hype is real. You know, but if we look back to last year, this time our quarterback was choosing to be in Egypt rather than be in this part of camp. So we're already on a different level. As far as our quarterback participation in locked in level. So I'm not I'm not gonna say he's a bust. I'm not gonna say that all this is off or not. But yeah, I'm definitely locked into Fields for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, I think generally at this point, I think I feel comfortable enough saying that if Fields can't be, let's say, like, if we're gonna borderline somewhere, the Baker Mayfields of the world, like, just
Yeah.
I don't even think Baker Mayfield is necessarily an average quarterback. He's slightly below average in my opinion, but
Mhm.
he gets the key, he gets the team going. It's just good enough. Like, if he can't at least be at that level, I blame that on the coaches, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've seen coaches do more with less, in my opinion. Like, Michael
Mhm.
Fuller is doing a lot more with less. Like, Zach
Right.
Wilson, wasn't even playing at an NFL level. He was barely playing at a college level when they threw him in there. And they had backup, like Mike White was playing at a Bakerish level, to be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely would have to put that on the coaches, and it just in my opinion, like, I think that's just poor scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I agree. It's definitely on the coaches. This time around is I need to see some fire from the coaches to like put our players in good positions here. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was. I mean, let's say another buzzer bust. We could go into the roulette of the Ultimate Jets team if you want to. Uh, we can go into that next real quick just so we can do that. Do you have that pulled up the randomizer?
I have
Yeah.
I have a randomizer. We just
I
need
bet.
man, I just don't know where to write. Can you write down the team?
No, you can write down the just the positions, and
No,
then
I
we'll
mean,
like.
like, oh, okay, so we'll just
Oh
do
yeah,
it together. Okay.
yeah, and then like we'll just kind of like write down our own team, or we'll just go back and like on the video and just kind of like see who we picked.
All right, cool. You want to explain it to everybody so they aren't lost in what's going on?
Yeah, so we're gonna do like a Jets Ultimate Team draft. Basically, Alan has a randomizer over there. He's gonna randomize, and it's gonna be between quarterback, running back, two wide receivers, tight end, and a defensive player. So we're gonna go back and forth. Whoever I pick, Alan cannot pick. Whoever Alan picks, I can't pick. And we're gonna go back and forth depending on what position we get and draft our Jets ultimate lineup based off of the position that we get each round. And this Alan and I had talked about this. We're gonna do players what is it? Players in the you want to do in their Jets prime or in their
It has to be
overall
Jets Prime. I think to start
okay,
off, let's
yeah,
do
just yeah.
in their Jets Prime.
Yeah.
I guess the only question I have is, so am I doing the randomizer for each one of us? So if I run it and let's say the first one's quarterback, do we
Yeah.
both pick a quarterback, or are you gonna go quarterback and then I go do the spin and I get
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
next position?
Yeah. We'll do it like that. We'll do it like
Okay,
that.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. But
All right.
yeah, no.
I'm
Yeah,
ready to
Johnny
start
boy.
whenever you are.
Yeah, Johnny boy. Shout. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I had to do that little 3-step drop this weekend
Oh
because
yeah.
I love, man. A lot of people were getting on me because I said that Jackson Dart little flip and throw was unimpressive. So I had to show them that I can do it too, man. But
Bro, you
yeah,
gotta pull that up.
no, I have that. I don't even know if I got that anymore. Or yeah, no, I'll pull it up.
Ah,
I'll pull it up next episode. But yeah, no, that was
okay.
yeah, that was funny. That
Bro,
was
that
funny.
had me fucking weak. I
Like it
was
was
dying,
easy.
bro.
It was easy. Like I don't understand. I don't understand what all the hype was, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're locked in now. But yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, you ready? Let's get it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So for the first randomization, starting off with tight end.
Tight end. All right. So I go first.
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. Tight end. And we're going off Jets' 10-year success.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna have to go.
Dang, we don't really have a lot of great tight ends.
We don't.
That's why I kind of wanted that one first.
Yeah. We
Hope
don't.
you don't pick who I got.
I mean, it's gotta be one. It's gotta be one guy. I'm gonna go Dustin Keller.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Keller. It was between Keller and our most recent tight end, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So yeah,
All right.
you're next though. You're next.
All right. We're going to spin the wheel.
Yeah.
And then I got running back.
Ah,
All right. Now where I want to go,
a lot of good
I know
options.
where I want to go. There's a lot of good options, but I think there's one option that stands out. I feel like you got to go with Curtis Martin.
Dang, yeah, that's a good one.
You got it.
That's a good one.
Like I think my heart wants to say some other names, but because of my era. But Curtis Martin far
That was a good one. That was good. So all right. No, yeah, Curtis Martin. I mean, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Curtis Martins too. So but yeah.
All right, let's hit the next one. What do you got for QB?
QB.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going Jets tenure QB.
Jets tenure. Has to be Jets tenure.
Jets tenure QB.
Yep.
Quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Jets tenure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. It might not be most popular, but I'm gonna go Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's a good one. Like
Ryan,
if you go off of specifically that 2015 season.
Yeah, that's it.
I respect it.
That's it.
I respect it. I respect it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I respect it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's a good one. That's a good quote.
Ken O'Brien was a good one too. But yeah, no, I gotta go Fitz, man. That was the most quarterbacky season I could see as far as the running, the passing. That was a good season, man. That was a good season.
That's a good one. I cannot fault you for that one. I can't. All right. So we're gonna hit it. Oh, all right. Here we go. And I got wide receiver. There's two sides of me. There's the part of like the OG side of me that has a few names that and I got the newer side of me that like the guys that I have seen specifically in my life. Like there are guys that I'm like, I know they were great, but I haven't seen them in my personal experience. Like I just seen some highlights or something like that. So it's a little harder to be like, I have a connection with them. especially once you hit that Ryan Fitzpatrick one, it makes me want to go Brandon Marshall here. Even though I know there's probably greater names that I could go with, but Brandon Marshall 2015 was unstoppable.
Yeah,
That dude was different.
He was different. He was different now, and that was a great season. 1,500 yards.
Yeah, dude.
That's a good pick.
I
You can't really go wrong with that pick.
Yeah. I had to go with it, man.
Yeah. Can't really go wrong with it. That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. All right, I already spent it for you, and you also got wide receiver.
I got wide receiver too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now here is where I start to think strategy now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did have a lot of good wide receivers in the past Jet decades, but here I'm going with Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Oh, that's a curveball.
Yeah. I'm going.
And don't get me wrong, Garrett is great. That's a good one. But
I know. But it's just I feel like there's more options that I can pair up with Garrett Wilson to make it a better duo.
I respect that.
So it's like, and Garrett Wilson's already shown us that,
and that's kind of why I picked Brandon Marshall too, because I was like, I can get a solid wide receiver, like a guy I think that matches well with him.
Right, exactly. And with Garrett Wilson, he's already shown us that he's on the projection of breaking these Jet wide receiver records. So Garrett Wilson. That's what I'll go with.
All right. I respect it.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna hit the wheel for me. And I don't know if this is random anymore. I'm at wide receiver again.
Oh yeah, no, this is your second wide receiver pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm a Long Island guy. So like for me, everything is about who do I have a connection with. And this is the guy I kind of went to pick the first time. I know, again, greater names, whatever. I don't care. Wayne Chebet. That's who I'm going to go with. Wide receiver 2. I think Brandon Marshall on one side, Wayne Chebet, because Wayne Chebet, he's just, gritty. I love him.
Yeah.
But I think those two on each side, I have a lot of respect for that. I think even in the modern NFL, I feel really good about that.
Yeah, no, that's also a great pick. He's a Jet. He's
Especially
a Jet legend.
Curtis Martin, I don't know. I feel like I got this one.
It's looking. I don't know. It all depends on how we're looking here. But you have a pretty good. You have a pretty stacked lineup right now. And we're also going Jets tenure, like these
Jets tenure.
Players,
you can't just.
We can't say Aaron Rodgers and we're taking Packers Aaron Rodgers, right? We're taking it's Jets Aaron Rodgers if we say Aaron Rodgers. So
can't take Chicago Matt Forte.
No Ravens Ed Reed, right? None of that.
Although that would have been great. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be
great. And we got to do that. You got to do that one too, because I feel like that'll be interesting because that opens up the door to so many more players.
No, for sure, especially at some of these other positions. But yeah. All right, so who's your lineup right now? You have
Curtis Martin, Brandon Marshall, Wayne Chebet.
Wayne Chebet. Okay. All right.
You ready?
Me. Yep.
All right, here we go. So you have a tight end, a quarterback, and a wide receiver.
Yep. So I need running back, wide receiver, defense.
And I swear on everything, this is completely random, but it hit wide receiver again.
All right, wide receiver again. All right, who am I gonna match up with Garrett Wilson? Who am I gonna pair up with Garrett Wilson?
There's a lot of great options.
It's a lot of great options. This is my last wide receiver pick.
Wide receivers over the years. And I think I know. I feel like I can guess who you're gonna pick.
It's hard though. It's hard because.
But I still feel like I can read your mind on this one. I feel like I know where you're gonna go with this one.
It's tough because I don't even know where I'm gonna go.
But I know where you're gonna. I feel like I know where you're gonna end up.
Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson, and we're going Jet tenure wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Going Jet tenure wide receivers. dang. Garrett Wilson, man, he's an outside guy. He can play the slot. He's really jack of all trades. So anybody I pick here can be a good match with him.
Mm-hmm.
But and this might be random, but I'm gonna go. Dang, I don't want to take too much time, but all right, I'm gonna go.
I wish I could write this down so
Yeah,
I can like.
I'm writing them all down, or like at least I wish
No,
I
no,
had
like I
options.
could write down what this name is before you say it, so I have
Uh,
proof that this is the name. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong.
yeah, I don't know. You might be wrong because because this name just popped into my head. So I'm gonna
Okay.
go with Jets 10-year wide receivers. Let's go with Santonio Holmes.
Oh,
Santonio.
okay.
Garrett Santonio Holmes.
That wasn't the guy I thought, but that's actually a good poll. That's a good poll.
Yeah. Garrett and Santonio.
I was actually
Santonio,
kind of close.
who were you thinking? Braylon?
No,
Okay.
I was actually thinking of Santana Moss.
Oh yeah. That was a.
So,
I was thinking of him and Lavernius around that time.
that's
But
close.
I was
kind of
like,
close. Like when you said Stan, I was like Stan. Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's what I was
No,
like,
it was close. It was close. It was close.
It was a partial mind reading there.
Yeah. But no, yeah, Santana Moss is it would be going. But Santonio Holmes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with that. That was a lot of he made a lot of clutch plays as a Jet. So
That's a solid one. That's a solid one.
I respect this season.
Especially Jets tenure. I respect that.
Jets tenure, exactly. Lavernius Coles could have been a good one too, but
yeah.
But I wanna have some hitters back out there. I was thinking Eric Decker too, but
that was actually my backup for you too.
Yeah.
I felt like if you didn't go Moss, I felt like you would have went Decker.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, Santonio, I like Santonio. Between Santonio, Braylon, and Decker. Because Garrett, he's a little jack of all trades. But all right. Let's see who your next one is gonna be. Who do you have left? What position do you have left?
I have to do defense, tight end, and quarterback. Yeah,
quarterback.
Defense, tight end, and quarterback. I got 3 left, and then you have 2 left.
Yeah. All right.
And probably got something different. I got defense.
Okay, so defensive. So for defense, we're doing defensive player.
Just any defensive player, right?
Yep, any defensive player.
Oh, easily. Revis,
yeah.
Easily.
That's
easily.
That's got to be it.
I don't even have to think twice about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm cooking right now.
No. You are cooking. No, you're definitely cooking right now.
I feel like I got the chicken in the oil, and it's just.
I was hoping I would get defense before you.
Yeah. Because
but
it's like you knew I had to go. I had to go Revis.
I had to. That was a good pick. Gotta go Revis. I don't even know who I would go in that case. But yeah, so I got running back and defense left, I believe.
And we have running back.
Running back. All right. So it gets a little dicey here, right?
Honestly, I feel like there's still some solid options out there, though.
There are definitely some solid options because we've had a lot of good running backs.
Especially, the only thing that sucks is that we've had a lot of really great running backs that were just after their prime, though.
Yeah. But it's one in particular that came after his prime that was still a dog.
And I think I knew who you're thinking of.
No, still a dog,
I think I know who you're thinking of.
So, yeah, I'm going LT.
Yep. I knew it. Yep. I knew
LT. It. He was still making stuff happen, man.
Yeah, I knew it. And that's a great pick. Like,
yeah.
That was honestly like little me would be like, yeah, that's the one I would have wanted.
Yeah. This is LT. This isn't LT, retire and then come back. This is LT straight off of a Chargers, run. So I mean, he was I mean, we had a running back tandem back then, but it was like he was basically one. It was basically a 1A 1B situation. He was just the most dynamic. I feel like so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go LT, man. I go LT.
Nah,
That's cool. Yeah,
I respect that. Like,
yeah,
and he was the guy. I remember, like, Lil Me on Madden. And I was, oh my gosh, I would just run the ball all day with him.
yeah. Nah, he was my
Like, just get
starter.
the ball to LT,
Yeah,
man.
I put him as my RB1 every time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, like I would sit there. I would go back on the roster because I don't think he was the third down back. I'd make sure he was the
yeah,
third down back. I make sure. Crap, I put him at wide receiver. I could too.
yeah.
Like, duplicate
All
him
right.
out there. I don't know. He was different.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they're very different. You know, the LT was tough, but yeah, no. That year when we picked up those guys, that was a pretty exciting year. So yeah. I'll take it. I'll take LT.
All right. So I did this spin while you were talking.
Yeah.
It got me at quarterback.
Mm.
I didn't pick a quarterback yet.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, and this is where things get hard. Like, I could go with the obvious choice. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like the obvious choice is Namath.
Yeah.
Only quarterback here that's ever won a Super Bowl. But I feel like that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go there. I'm trying to, because you got Namath.
Yeah.
Can't pick Sanchez. I can't do it to myself.
Can't do
You
it.
know, like,
I'm gonna write down who I think you're gonna pick here.
I think, if I cross off Namath, if I cross off Sanchez, there's only a couple of names I could choose.
Yeah.
There's a couple of names I can choose. I feel like you know it.
No.
I feel like you know which one I'm thinking. I think, honestly, for fun, I think I'm going to go with Chad Pennington.
Okay, Chad Pennington. I didn't have that. No. I didn't have that. I had Gino.
Nah, because Jets tenure,
Just
nah,
say, I
Jets
mean,
tenure.
yeah. No, yeah. Chad is a good pick. But plus you have that kind of that mold of the team over there cooking.
Yeah.
So
I think he kind of goes with what my team is trying to do here.
yeah.
Namath was great in his era, but I'm looking for that more. And I know Chad's not all the way there, but he's a little bit closer to that modern quarterback of today's age. And I think that's what I want my team to embody here.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I don't think we have to generate the last two, by the way.
Yeah.
But,
so my last one is
pretty good
defense,
about
right? My last one is defense. All right.
You still got a lot of great options because this is
no.
defensive player.
No, so look. This pick for my defense just dawned on me, right?
Okay.
And I didn't know where I was gonna go, right? I was thinking,
Okay.
I was like, all right, who's on that Rex Ryan defense? Should I go David Harris, right? Should I go Jonathan Vilma? Should I keep it current and go Quentin Williams? Should I go Sauce Gardner? You just got Revis. So I just go ahead and pick Sauce. But I'm gonna go with Aaron Glenn.
That's tough.
I'm gonna go Aaron Glenn, my defensive pick.
I respect it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd go with that. I'm go with that.
I respect it.
I was trying to think back then. I was like, who was a dog? Before the Sanchez days on the defense, and then my mind just took me to the 80s for whatever reason. So yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah, I'll take AG, man. Shout out AG.
I respect it.
I'm looking at him right here on the screen.
It's right in my face. He's the coach
face.
now. I think that's a full embodiment right there. You gotta. He has that old school style of playing, but then, I guess if you're looking at it now, he becomes a coach. Mindset wise, has the full package.
Yeah. And back then, it's like watching his highlights. It's like, bro was a dog.
He was a dog.
He was Revis before Revis. In his own sense.
Yeah. No. Honestly, he's right. Honestly, I consider him probably DB2. In my opinion.
Yeah.
He's right there. Like he's not as far as, and I guess in just tenure as people might think he is.
Yeah.
I think Crow can make a solid case, but I'd put Glenn over him.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron Glenn. Locked in.
What do I have left? I
Last
have
pick is the
tight end.
tight end.
So I did some thinking about this because I knew we were going to do this.
Yeah.
And this was actually my worst case scenario.
Have a tight end pick last. Tight end pick last.
I had Dustin Keller no matter what.
Right. No matter what. That's crazy.
Because there's no like new age tight end I could really pick in our like Austin Safarian Jenkins. Like, come on, man. There's no like at least recency bias I can really go based off. So it makes me have to go with the oldie but a goodie, Mickey Schuler. You know, I don't have any real OGs on the team. Like that's an 80s guy right there.
Yeah,
I don't have any real OGs in my lineup. So I feel like I gotta have at least one. I'm gonna take him.
That's good. Mickey Schuler.
I feel pretty good about my team right now.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty. You have a very smash mouth throwback football team. You know.
Yeah, like I have a little dimension of new age football in you. So like it's like you still have to be on your toes.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's well rounded. It's like I'm gonna hit you hard, but I can still. Wow. Anything I was gonna say after that felt like a very pause moment.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Choose your words wisely after that one.
Yeah, I was like, wow. There's nothing I can say that didn't feel like a wow.
I don't know.
No Diddy.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's a good squad though. That's a good squad. I'm gonna play the last 15 minutes of this video back, and we can make our own like video of like the example I sent. But so everyone
can see the rosters and everything.
Yeah, maybe we can we should do these more with like different parameters on the players that we choose and stuff too as well. So
yeah.
We can do
timelines.
Yeah, we can do timelines. We can do all time career players, because then that opens up people like Ed Reed, Chris Johnson.
I was thinking Chris Johnson. Man, imagine you had prime Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
that's what I'm saying, man. It's been a lot of players that have came here, and it's like, geez, if we had you about 3-4 years before you came here, we would have been in the Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers, like it's like a lot of guys were just like, man, if you would have just came here a couple of years earlier, he actually would have had his shot. We
actually would have. Yeah, it would have been a whole different story. I don't know, man. It's crazy to even think about now, but yeah, man. But this is a good episode tonight, guys. We're gonna put out the video for the all-time Jets lineup soon. But as OTAs continue to roll on, we are going to keep on providing y'all the news, takes, rumors, all that good stuff. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. Any last words, Alan?
I'm just happy that we don't have these on the same day as the Knicks game, even though the Knicks are probably out of it at this point. But I'm just happy the Knicks games are no longer on Wednesdays. So shout out to the NBA for that. It's like they figured it out. Yeah,
shout out NBA.
Whoever organized the schedule, shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
Or sis. I don't know. I can't assume your gender.
Yeah. And the Timberwolves are getting BTA right now. So
I don't even want to look at the score. I already knew.
I'm watching it, and it's kind of ugly. It's kind of embarrassing.
What's the score?
63-32.
Oh gosh.
And it's 15 seconds left at halftime. Actually, let's see this last shot. Shea has the ball. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Shea left hand layup. Oh my God, jelly. Let's wrap it up.
Congrats to Thunder.
It's embarrassing.
I think they got it in the bag, to be honest. I think they're our new NBA champions. Great all-around team. can't really be too mad at it. You know, that's how the NBA works.
Yeah.
Honestly, I respect their team building though. Like it wasn't like, and no disrespect to all the super teams, but it's not like they just built some random super team of like already built stars. Like they built that from the ground up, kind of like how the Warriors did. So I got respect for it.
Yeah, it's and they have all these draft picks. At least they have some draft picks. I mean the Mavericks traded Luka and got not a pick in sight. So
yeah. But you guys do have the number 1 pick this year. Still don't know how that happened.
It's rigged. It's rigged. The NBA is rigged, and I'm not complaining. So I don't care if anybody throws in my face that the NBA is rigged. I don't care because we're on the positive end of that. It can be rigged all at once too. I knew that it had to be some type of restitution for us trading Luka. I'll take it.
Now I need mine for the Knicks about to lose the Eastern Conference. Honestly, at this point, I think it's only fair that you guys take Mikal Bridges and we just take Flag off your hands. Even it all out.
No way. That's
out, man.
It's no way. It's no way that can happen. Yeah, Cooper Flag to Dallas. I'm a Mavs fan. For those that don't know, I live in Dallas right now. But yeah, I was very shocked to see that we got the number 1 pick. It is rigged. It is rigged. But hey, that's just how sports is. All right. Well,
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, you didn't say a wrong statement.
Yeah, exactly. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Podcast. For sure. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. See y'all next week.